Surprise! New Jinjer! I have only analyzed Tatiana's vocals from a live or one-take perspective, so I'm really excited to do, for the first time, a studio vocal analysis.
You teach me how to be a man, though I am someone's daughter. The path of warrior was set for me, and I had to try on the armor. No, it doesn't suit me, and it feels so heavy. I'm frightened and so ashamed.
Let's talk about that transition where she goes from somber and sort of contemplative to brash and energetic and with a little bit of distortion on her voice.
The warrior was set for me.
You hear a little bit of that set for me. Of course, I'm exaggerating it and I'm putting it in my own voice, and I don't care that I'm sounding dumb. We're analyzing her approach. I'm not trying to sound like her. But listen, she has this set, longer, set for me. And then bring in a little bit of compression. Hey! I'm not necessarily singing louder. I'm learning to hold air back as I lean into my support. As I create a brighter, brasher, more backward-focused resonance, as opposed to set, which is more forward. Set for me! That creates that nice transition. She does it a little bit on that line. It's kind of a precursor to what happens in just a second. Listen.
And I had to try on the armor. No, it doesn't suit me.
No, it doesn't suit me. Ugh. She wouldn't have that nice distorted aggressive sound without the whinier sound. I think that's something a lot of people miss when they're listening to aggressive singing in particular, that the base of the aggressive singing is a sort of volatile, worried whine. It's like a weaker sound that then you support into, add compression to, then you get that nice broken, like, it's part of that, like, feisty cat sound that she's getting. You wouldn't get there if you just tried to take, hey, up there.
I had to try on the armor. No, it doesn't suit me, and it feels so heavy. I'm frightened and so ashamed.
Also there, listen to how she crafts those vowels. She creates an added tonal interest by gradually slanting that vowel.
And so ashamed.
Ashamed. It's not just ashamed.
And so
Shamed. She opens it back up. This gives it a bit more aggression. Because of that open vowel, she can lean into it a bit more. More closed vowels. Ashamed. She's trying to emphasize that the bigness of that word. So by opening that vowel up, she accomplishes that. And by dynamically working with it, ashamed, like that, she can project more tone.
Then I have to combat the world alone. Then I have to swing my sword alone.
Beautiful on the word alone. Oh my God.
Then I have to swing my sword alone.
How she has the vibrato right before she starts moving things around. Beautiful. Tatiana has mastered so many different techniques and approaches with her voice. It's so seamless. This kind of mastery starts with some very basic types of experimentation. If you'd like help learning how to experiment with your voice so that you can unlock some of these kinds of techniques, click the link in the video description or pinned comment and join my free voice course. I'll help you pull things out of your voice you never knew were there.
So my gentleness is turning to rigidity.
That's the longer sound. So my gentleness is turning to rigidity. La, la, la. As opposed to this.
And once all the skin is nothing but the scale.
Scare. Whining.
One by one, I lead in equal fights eventually.
It's in a one by one in light of what we've been talking about here.
But the scale. One by one.
One by one. One by one. One by. The difference in ones is profound.
The scale. One by one, I lead in
One by one. She actually starts each one with that sort of crowed whine sound, but then she reshapes the other one. This is what makes her singing so interesting.
One by one, I lead in equal fights eventually.
Eventually.
The beautiness is broken and not faint.
Yes.
Life feeds me bullets and stones, and I stitch myself up alive.
Those harmonies back there are beautiful.
And stones.
I like that melody choice. So very dissonant.
Bullets and stones, and I stitch myself up alive. If I cry, I will run my tears inside of my bloodstained cheeks. I've found talents beyond comprehension. All my battles are sight to behold.
Behold. Listen to the end of a hold.
All my battles are sight to behold. Waiting
Hold.
to hardship below. Translating my body to soul. I'm not around. I'm not around of me. This role of warrior brings nothing but the misery. If the woman's race are trimmed, already insistent. This is over. You will see your right and wrong.
Okay, I want to listen to that section again, and then this is the first time I've heard a studio incarnation of her screams. It's super insightful. I always talk about when you're really diving into a vocalist, it's important that you understand both how they come across live and in the studio if you really want to get a handle on their technique, because the studio hides a lot of things with production and layering, and live oftentimes is not, depending on how you're viewing them live, is not a representation of what they can really do because of all the other stress they've put on their voice. That said, the live or the one takes that I've listened to for Tatiana I think are very representative, and they're spot on. But there's some things standing out in her voice here in this studio environment that I want to draw a little attention to that I haven't heard quite the same way. It's having me rethink her approach a little bit. It's so tight. I think there's some doubling going on. Oh, brutal world. Yeah. It's that sound. But from what I'm hearing here and what I'm continuing to learn about the type of structures and tissues we use in our throat, she sounds like she's using a bit broader of an engagement. In other words, constricting at her false chords for sure, but also adding constriction above her false chords. Her primary chords are still not involved here. There's no voice behind her scream. And that's why she can be this like angelic and aggressive vocalist and have a particular timbre, and then have this extremely detached sound coming out of her. That's not just mouth shape. Wow! Because it's tighter also. If we just take that one word, world, and shape it with our mouth first. World. Okay? Then I'm going to add that loose false chord engagement. World. And you notice it's loose. Now I'm going to add an upper constriction instead. World. Hey. That feels much higher in the throat. It's two different things. However, what I think some of these vocalists have learned to do is broaden the engagement and use both at the same time very efficiently. So we're in a sense compressing the false chord engagement, which is why a lot of people who try to do false chord screams tend to run out of air too fast, because they're not relying on an additional constriction component. World. Both. World. Now, it's both tighter and it's sheenier, and especially as you work with the mouth shape and start dialing in that balance of upper and lower constriction, when stuff's doubled, I mean, it all comes together in this just super punchy sound. So anyway, as I'm continuing to unpack her sound and my own approach, I'm learning these things, and it's super insightful for me. See, NMA, it has more upper and less lower, so it sounds tighter and less flappy, like your traditional false sort of chord thing would sound. She actually dumps into like a true chord sigh there. And it's so deceiving because in the studio stuff where it's a music video, we're not seeing her mouth shapes. And I miss that, having analyzed a lot of her one takes and stuff like that, where what we see coming out of her mouth is actually the sound that's happening. That's really helpful. So there's at least 3 scream tracks that are contributing to that shape and consistency. Now there, I'm hearing it even more. We have a higher pitched center scream, and then we've got those very false chord sort of lows going on the sides. That's beefing up the overall approach that we hear. We don't hear it as 3 voices, but it is at least 3 voices. One voice there, right? I love her vibrato. Have I said that before? I love her vibrato. Such a smooth, it's like a ghost. There's more modulation in her woo, in her vibrato than most, which just makes it adds to her the silkiness of her approach. What a fun surprise and a greater excuse to dive deeper into the approach of Tatiana. Really enjoyed that. I can't wait for what's next from Jinjer. According to their YouTube channel, they're coming with a lot more. Be sure to check out these other Jinjer analysis videos that I've done. And if you'd like to explore more of what your voice can do in light of what we hear Tatiana doing and mastering, click that link below and join my free course in the pinned comment or video description. We'll see you there.